Hello, everybody. Welcome to Average Guy Opinions. I'm your average guy, John Corelli. This is episode 157, and I got a little inspired by my D-Day uh, episodes I did yesterday. And so I decided to get into, and it was kind of a serendipitous thing, to get into Colorado history a little bit. I am reading the paper like an old man. That's how I got into D-Day. That's how I also got into, I've got it right in front of me, learning about the Ku Klux Klan. And there's a nice upside down picture for you of them burning a cross on some mountain. So it's interesting, actually, the history of the Klan. Oh, man. Something blew in my Coke. That stinks. It's a Mexican Coke, by the way. No high fructose corn syrup. Ask for it by name. There's a little tree part in there, though. That's a bummer. Oh, well. Anyway, sorry. Let's get on with it. I got 9 minutes. Let's not waste any more time. So, as most people know, the Klan came about out of the Reconstruction of the Civil War. A lot of angry former slave owners and sharecroppers were upset about losing the war and losing their slaves, to be honest, and just upset at the turnout of not being able to succeed and secede, as I always say, succeed instead of secede. A terrible history person, but they they only lasted about 10 years, which was surprising to me. They lasted from like the end of the war in 1865 till about 1875. The 1870s, they were pretty much disbanded and not a powerful force that they were for about 10 years. The problem is they imbued the culture. All those Klansmen, all those racists also became very powerful people, judges and cops and magistrates, and I don't even know what a magistrate is. I think that's just a fancy word for a judge, is it not? But, they became powerful people. They became senators, representatives. They're all over in there. And unfortunately, now that's 150 years ago. Fast forward 40 years to 1915. D.W. Griffith makes the horrific yet legendary film called Birth of a Nation that kind of tells about the Klan being awesome and really equating to being a Klansman to being a great patriot. And that actually brought about the Klan. The Klan came back because of D.W. Griffith, I found out in this article. And so, 1920, the Klan is in full swing. They are kind of like they are now. They're kind of like the white supremacists of today. Very self-righteous, claiming to be Christian, very straight-laced for the most part, not being into drugs. They were big prohibitionists, and they found Denver, Colorado, to be very ripe for the picking. And at one point in 1925, I believe it was, maybe 23, in the early 20s, after really being only here a few years, they really just came here and somehow supplanted themselves in 1920 and really grew. By the time, like 1923, 25, a third of Denver's white population was affiliated with the Klan. 30,000 out of 100,000, basically. It's insane. And at that time, there were only about 6,000 people out that were black. It was pretty rough to be black. And some things I also found out that I didn't know about. Of course, we know that the Klan hates blacks and Jews and immigrants, therefore Latinos and Asians as well. But also, I did not know this, they hated Catholics, even Irish Catholics. You'd think that, okay, the Irish are white, why do they care? No, they hated Irish Catholics too. Burned crosses in front of churches. They also, this is an interesting thing about this article, the Klan in Denver did not have a technically violent stay while they were here. They did terrible things. They intimidated people and they burned crosses all over the place. But technically, they did not, I guess, have any lynchings. Although I'm not sure about that. I'd like to look into that again. But that's what this article said. It's a lengthy article. It's like two full big newspaper pages. So the Klan only lasts here maybe 5 to 10 years. They don't even make out of the 20s. They did imbue very powerful positions, as I mentioned before. They did in the South. They did here too. Governor Clarence J. Morley was the governor here from 25 to 27. Klansman. As we know, Mayor Benjamin Stapleton about the same time, also a Klansman, and that's something that happened with BLM recently, the Stapleton area, and of course a lot of natives or semi-natives like myself know that Stapleton Airport was the big airport before DIA was put in the mid-90s, 95 I believe. So So they are trying to erase Stapleton from the historical record, which I understand, or at least not give him names of neighborhoods. They got rid of the neighborhood name, and now it's called Central Park. They're trying to get rid of he has a street apparently going through there, trying to get rid of that too, which I think is good. I mean, it sounds like we're celebrating these horrible men when we give them names for stuff. It's like, yeah, keep them in the libraries. In fact, there's a movement to actually get Morley's name removed from the Capitol building because all the governors have a portrait of themselves in there, and he's in there too. One thing I did read, this was really interesting. There was a doctor, his name was Joseph Westbrook, and he was a very light-skinned doctor, so he actually infiltrated the Klan. He was so light-skinned, probably looked like me, who knows, there's no picture of him, but he actually infiltrated the Klan, acted like he wanted to be one of them, went to all the meetings, went to the cross burnings, and found out their plans, which was really amazing. So I think that also kind of makes me wonder how what the inspiration was for Black Klansman, the movie, which came out a few years ago, Spike Lee movie, very good movie. I suggest you see it if you haven't. It's amazing and horrific at the same time. Talks about the Klan down in Colorado Springs being basically running. Trying to run the show down there, having issues with the police force, either not giving a shit or having Klan members as well. And so that kind of explains why we have such a hard time today, I suppose. I mean, I'm blown away that 100 years later people haven't evolved enough, at least woken up enough to go, hey, this is not right. I shouldn't hate a person because of their religion or the color of their skin or that they weren't born in this country. I'm really blown away that stuff still haunts us to this day. There's amazing pictures in here. If you get to check it out, I would just go to the Denver Post. It was just yesterday's paper, it was, June 6th. Which, like I said, this paper, maybe I'll start calling these old man opinions, and because it's more fun for me to just go in the paper and find some stuff. Like last week, I talked about population. That was due to an article in this paper, and just. It's kind of fun to kind of read again. I haven't been reading as much as I wanted to. I know several episodes, or a couple of months, not even several episodes, several months ago, I said I was going to read more. Haven't. Failed. So I'm going to see if there are any other bullet points I wanted to hit on this. I think for the most part, that was what I wanted to get at, is that we are still imbued with this horrific organization that was founded 150 years ago, and that blows my mind. The one positive that I saw was on the cover, or the front of the paper, where they started the article, they did describe the KKK as a hate group, which is a big deal, and that needs to be said and needs to be reiterated throughout its horrific history. So yeah, I mean, it's still the KKK. That was something I wanted to hit upon, and how imbued it is in our culture. One of my best friends growing up, I'm not going to say his name, I don't really affiliate him with the KKK, but he had some issues with racism. I've heard him say the N-word, and it's not pleasant. Say nigger jokes, for example, and even refer to people as niggers, and it's a terrible thing. And I don't like hearing it out of his mouth, because it's like, I think you're better than this. I knew you as a kid. I don't remember you being like this as a kid, but I do remember being at this family's house and them saying that word, like bitching about a nigger at work, and so it's still in our culture. And I'm sorry if the word offends. I'm not looking to offend. I'm looking to be real, okay? And I think Louis C.K., one of my favorite comedians, said it best. You saying N-word just puts the word nigger in my head. That's all it does. It just says, all it shows that you don't have the balls to actually say it. It's still in there, okay? We know what you mean when you say N-word. So I got 1 minute left. But that was, getting back to my friend. So not only there are some horrific things going on. I heard his entire family say that word a few times growing up. It wasn't prevalent, but it was there enough to make me cringe, because it wasn't going on in my family. And I also had a friend at the time who was half black, so that made it weird. But I remember one time he showed me a picture, and it looked a lot like, I'm going to show it to you one more time, right side up this time, but it looked a lot like this. It was just a bunch of dudes in front of a cross being burned. It was way less than this. I mean, this is hundreds of people. But the one he showed me was like, and it was a framed picture they had. It was an 8x10 black and white picture that he said probably happened in the 20s. And like, okay, it sounds accurate to me. And like, his grandfather ended up being in the Klan. And so, his dad had some of those racist attitudes, and now he does too. All I can say to you that have those type of attitudes, there's no excuse anymore. Stop it. We need to extricate this cancer out of our society. All right, so there you go. A little Colorado and the Klan. I'll probably have some more horrific Colorado history in the next couple episodes because I'm finding it quite interesting. Thanks for watching and listening. Talk to you next time. Bye.